I do have another apprenticeship interview on Monday that I don't know if there's really one right way to become a tattoo artist. Honestly, I'm getting the inclination that everybody's journey is different. I see some people comment like, do you have to know how to draw to become a tattoo artist under like some tattoo videos that I watch? And I'm like, I feel like you should definitely know how to draw. You should definitely know the basics. You should definitely know like color theory and shading. But do I think it's impossible to become a tattoo artist if you're not the best artist? No. All right, I just did some yoga, meditating, affirmations, and I was going to journal, but I can't remember what I wanted to journal about. I went and saw the Challengers movies last night, and there was something in the movie that I was like, oh, I want to journal about this, but I can't remember. So maybe I'll remember that later. But I also might just end up filming that stuff tomorrow morning to include it in this video because for some reason I didn't record it today. And then I got a bunch of my packages for tattoo supplies that I ordered. And I was like, oh, I should film this. And I was like, why didn't you start filming this morning? But it's okay because it was nice to just focus on my spiritual practice without any pressure of like how it's looking or like stopping my yoga or meditation to like pause the filming or whatever. So I'll do that tomorrow. But it's been a pretty productive week. I've been working on my to-do list. Once again, trying to get my to-do list done this week. I've had gesso the cardboard because I wanted to add gesso to some of the cardboard boxes we had left over from moving to turn them into canvases for months now. We moved in August, it's May. So I probably still won't get to it today. And I also have tarot video on here, wash rug because my cat peed on the rug that was in our room, and crochet. The only thing I'm probably going to do today is crochet, and I'm probably going to do the other stuff on my to-do list tomorrow. I'm just feeling really low energy and it's like a gray, cloudy, rainy day. So I feel like if I'm going to do anything, it's probably going to be playing with my new tattoo stuff and crocheting because my mom asked me to make 4 bags for her upcoming event. I just made the first one so far. It's gonna be a strawberry. I don't know. This is one. But anyway, let's get to the unboxing part of this all. So to start, I got some cartridges. This is for the tattoo gun. Hopefully these have all the right pieces. I'm a little weary because it's not the same box that was in the photos, but basically what I realized is that my girlfriend only had like 1003 and I wanted like 1005 to practice tattooing because I feel like I'd like a little bit of a thicker needle. So here's the 3. Oop. Okay, here's the 5. I was about to say 7. So far, I've only found 1 5. 7. 9. 9. 11. 11. Wow. So the only one I wanted, the 05s, they only gave me 1 row of, which is 5 needles. But I have all these 3s, which I already had. I didn't need, oh, okay, never mind. I just can't read. One of them is a 5. Okay, so there's at least 2 5s. And there's 2 3s. That got scary there. 2 11s. 2 9s. And 2 7s. Okay. I do have an even amount, thank God. There was just a lot of people in the comments talking about that they didn't send all of the right ones, so I guess that made me a little antsy. Ah, yes. I got pink dental bibs to do the tattooing on, to make it more sanitary. So I had like tape and everything already, but I was like, as soon as I started like laying down the saran wrap and all that stuff, I was like, wait, I need like the paper towel-esque thing that they have as well. So that's the Dental Babe. And last but not least, I got this tracing light box, trace light box. That's literally what it says on the box. I would show the front, I guess. But for some reason they taped my address to the front, which I'm like, I'm all for saving the trees and the boxes and all that stuff. I like that this one came in a recyclable one, but this one didn't. But then this one didn't come in a separate box. I don't know. Anyway, I just want to make sure it works. Here's the cord. And I feel like this is about to step up my drawing game exponentially. I've had a bit of... One of the things when I got feedback at the tattoo shop was she was asking me to like redraw them by hand. And while I can do it, and I did do that for some of them, it honestly just takes forever. And I was just like, why can't I draw something in Procreate and then transfer it to real paper and color it? Because she was saying like she wanted to see my coloring in and shading skills with like color pencil and all that stuff. I'm like, I could take the time to, let's say, draw a pool ball and draw the perfect circle. But let's be real. If I was tattooing someone, I would never hand draw a perfect circle. I would draw it in Procreate and print out a perfect circle. So, anywho, the point is that now I'm going to be able to transfer my digital designs to paper a lot more easily. And at first I didn't get one because I was feeling guilty about it. Oh, it's pink. I was feeling guilty about it. But then I was watching this tattoo artist and she was like, yeah, I used to think tracing was cheating. But she was like, honestly, this has changed the game and improved my skills and this, that, and the... And I was like, I trust her. I trust this stranger on the internet who's putting out this video for people who want to gather tattoo information more than this random person at this tattoo shop who I don't even know if she would be against it. It's not like I asked her. I didn't say, oh, well, how do you feel about tracing light boxes? Anywho, point is, I'm gonna do me. And I feel like this is gonna be really exciting to use. The thing is, it's so thin. It's like hard for me to believe that this is like real. Is that the right word? Real isn't the word I'm looking for. It's hard to believe that I can use something so thin, I guess. All right, let's see. Just gonna unplug my Apple Watch. It worked! Oh my gosh, could you imagine if I had a ring light? Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. I mean, it would be reflecting off my glasses, but no glasses, the lighting is eating. I don't know. So I'm so excited about this. So yeah, this makes me want to draw like ASAP. Oh, that was the other thing. It's on and off, and then if I hold it, it's supposed to go brighter or darker. There we go. And then they said that there's like some protection thing that's supposed to protect my eyes so it doesn't like hurt when I look at it or something. Yeah. I don't know. Even if I got like one of those like kind of plastic sheets that has like the different size circles, like again, I could just use that to make a perfect circle. I don't know. I feel like, and you know, if you're a tattooer in the tattoo community, please feel free to comment or say something because I'm not trying to spread misinformation. But I feel like there's a bit of like annoying parts of joining the tattoo community. And one of them is like this whole idea that like of being an amazing artist and feeling like all of your art has to be like completely hand drawn and completely done by yourself and completely your own original ideas. And it's kind of frustrating because when I see a lot of artists who are further along in their journey or self-taught artists, they have no problem just drawing something in Procreate and printing it out. But it was kind of like jarring to meet tattoo artists who were like no, anyone can draw digitally. Like, that's basically what she was saying to me. She was like, anyone can draw digitally. No one's going to hire you if you're only a digital artist, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, it's not transferable. And I was like, it's not? But then I went to another shop, and they were all queer, and they were all self-taught artists, and had opened their own studio, and they were like, oh my god, I love your art. I think this would be a great place to start. You do still want to practice more hand drawing, and they were saying because like that allows you to get an idea of like how much pressure to put for things, and they were recommending me like using different kinds of ink. I think they specifically mentioned India ink, but it felt like more comfortable with the feedback. It wasn't like, no, don't do these digital drawings, that's a waste of your time. That when I'm like, every tattoo I've ever gotten, when they showed me the design, was on their iPad on Procreate, and they printed it out. I'm not hand drawing tattoos and then hand putting them on the tracing paper. Obviously you want to know how to draw to tattoo, that's not a problem, but I feel like I do know how to draw, and it's almost insulting to be like, oh, if you're only using Procreate, you don't know how to draw, as if digital art doesn't take skill and time. And I say that because it was really hard when I first started drawing digitally. It wasn't just like, all right, this is so easy. Like, first off, you have to learn how to use Procreate, which is a whole learning curve in itself. But when I look at the art that I made when I first got the app versus now, like, my skills have improved so much, like so much, it's crazy. And I'm glad, but that came from like drawing every day. There was, in December, I did drawing every day, and I wanted to challenge myself to like make art every day. And from that, I ended up becoming a much better artist. And so I'm just like, I don't really understand why there's like this thing of certain tattoo artists or certain people in the tattoo community of being like, no, like you can't do that, draw it all by hand. I mean, like, I have a sketchbook full of drawings and I drew them by hand, but like I probably wouldn't tattoo those. And then even still, if I drew it on my sketchbook, how am I getting it to the tracing thing? So if I'm using the tracing paper to transfer it, I will have to trace my own design to put it on the transfer paper, or trace it somehow to Procreate or whatever app so I could print it out. So it's like, I feel like there's an element of tracing in tattooing, period. And I see some people comment like, do you have to know how to draw to become a tattoo artist, under like some tattoo videos that I watch? And I'm like, I feel like you should definitely know how to draw. You should definitely know the basics. You should definitely know like color theory and shading. But do I think it's impossible to become a tattoo artist if you're not the best artist? No, because no offense, I've seen some pretty bad tattoos or tattoo art or whatever. And obviously you don't want to be a bad tattoo artist or put bad art on someone. So it's really a matter of, do you feel comfortable permanently drawing that on someone's skin? And if the other person is happy with that, then I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So again, what is good art? What is good drawing? These are all questions that I ask. And I mean, this is a large reason why I've gone back and forth on like doing a tattoo apprenticeship versus being self-taught. Right now, I'm practicing at home by myself on fake skin. That's it. And I do have another apprenticeship interview on Monday, but I have no idea what they're going to say either. Is it going to be the same? Because so far the two studios that I've gotten feedback from, one was like incredibly harsh and was telling me basically to change everything about my portfolio, and the other one was like, yeah, it looks like you're ready to get started practicing, not ready to start tattooing, but they were like, it looks like you're ready to get started. They said that my designs seemed well enough to be able to tattoo. Meanwhile, the other person that I went to, they were like, no, these designs are too complicated, or this is ugly, or this has been done too many times, or whatever. I'm like, who cares if it's been done too many times? That means that more people will be asking me for that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm clearly just venting my frustrations. The point is that I don't know if there's really one right way to become a tattoo artist. Honestly, I'm getting the inclination that everybody's journey is different, and every tattoo artist I ask has a different opinion on my art or the way to go about becoming a tattoo artist. So really you have to find what works for you, what's going to work best for your time, your finances, your ability to commit and consistency. Like if you know you can only tattoo on the weekends, like practice tattooing on the weekends. I have to get concert tickets. That's what that alarm is for. That was a good reminder. I'm glad I put that on. But yeah, I don't know. I get so easily distracted. The point is that I think that everybody is going to have a different tattooing journey, and you really do have to figure out what's going to work for you. And that might look different to everyone. And so far, every tattoo artist that I've asked or every tattoo YouTuber that I've watched, their journeys have all been completely different. A lot of them that I see on YouTube started during the pandemic, practicing at home, then practicing on themselves and practicing on their friends, and then eventually somehow either opened their own studio privately or started working for a tattoo shop because they found a shop that was willing to take them in. Meanwhile, there are other places where they're like, if you're self-taught, I won't even let you in as tattooing. Like it's really dependent on what tattoo shops are around you, what the opinions of those tattoo artists are, and how they feel about self-taught artists, because some people are self-taught artists and have no problem with it. Some people had an apprenticeship and still have no problem with it. Some people had an apprenticeship and feel like that's the only way to go. And then also apprenticeships vary. I know some people who have 1-year apprenticeships. I've met somebody who had a 2-year apprenticeship, and I've met someone who had a 3-year long apprenticeship. So it really depends on who you're looking to be your mentor. And I think that similar to finding a romantic partner, you're going to have to find what works best for you. And it's not going to always be what works best for everybody. And I don't think it's really right in this community to look down on artists who might be self-taught or have had a shorter apprenticeship or whatever, because that's just what happened for them. At the end of the day, this is about making art, and I don't think that the profession should be gatekept. Because if you want to be a tattoo artist, you should be able to do it, and you shouldn't fear the judgment or criticism of other people. Because at the end of the day, I've gotten tattoos from self-taught artists, and I didn't think any differently about them versus going to a full-on tattoo shop where I know they had an apprenticeship and years of experience. A bulk of my tattoos are by one artist, and when I asked her the first day that I got a tattoo from her how long she had been tattooing, she said a year. And she was like, and I'm self-taught. And she was working at a really great studio. I wasn't like, oh my God, I don't know if I can trust her, because her work spoke for itself. So at the end of the day, just remember, your work will speak for itself. If you're a good tattoo artist, that's going to show regardless of what experience or what training you have. And that's really all you have to focus on, is being a good, clean, nice, personable, whatever tattoo artist. And I would just focus on that. Don't get too caught up in the logistics of trying to find the right mentor and feeling like if you don't have it, there's no way for you to start this career. Because if you were going to become a painter, would you be searching for a painting apprenticeship? You might. But that doesn't mean you can't start painting now. And it's the same with if you were looking for a cooking job. You have to start at the bottom as like a dishwasher or whatever. You could look for a kitchen in some really fancy restaurant and work your way up. But that doesn't mean you can't practice at home and already become a pretty decent chef. You shouldn't wait to start learning when you actually get the mentor. You can start learning before you get the mentor. And if the mentor never comes, that doesn't mean you won't be a good chef or a good painter or a good tattoo artist. It just means that you had to figure it out on your own. And I've seen plenty of videos talking about self-taught versus tattoo apprenticeship. And for the people that don't care about being self-taught, the people that aren't judging that, the main thing they say is just that it will take you longer to learn things as opposed to learning it from someone else. And that's the only thing that I would say would suck about it. But when you're self-taught, you can also teach yourself at your own pace, not whatever pace your mentor is setting. And there's plenty of information on the internet and books, and you could still email or DM or go into shops and ask them questions as well if they're open to it. So I wouldn't lose hope. Obviously, I'm still undecided It really will depend on how, I guess, my next interview goes, and if I apply to another shop. There was another shop that I was thinking about applying to, which is funny because they're actually like right around the corner from each other. So, but if I keep getting no's, as many people say that they do, I don't think I want to wait a year plus to find an apprenticeship. I think I'm probably just going to start teaching myself. And that might be controversial to some, but this is something that I want to pursue. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to go about it in an unsterile way. Obviously, I would still go get the bloodborne pathogen certification because that's necessary in my state. But there's no tattoo license except if you live in Baltimore for some reason, which that's a whole nother thing. I honestly would chalk that up personally to either fear of things with needles and there being some diseases running rampant in that area, or them just not wanting people to be able to tattoo very easily in that city and want more people to jump through hoops. I don't know. I could make a whole video just on why I think they require it in some places and not others. But where I am, they don't require it. So, and honestly, a tattoo apprenticeship is not required to become a tattoo artist either. So none of this is written. It's just all kind of made up by these people in the community. And I know that for some people, community and like having connections in the tattoo community is really important, but if that's not really important to you, then by all means really take your own path. And I feel like you'll still meet people along the way, probably just other self-taught artists, and you got to ask yourself, is someone who's going to be like giving you some harsh old-fashioned tattoo apprenticeship and then expect you to work at the shop after, is that someone you really want to be friends with? I guess that's the question that I ask myself. Could I see myself working here is a great question, but another great question is, could I see myself hanging out with you? Could I see you in the smoke sesh? Could I see you at my cookout? Could I see you at my birthday party? And I'm not saying that your boss and your coworkers you'd really want in all of these settings, but I am saying like if this is a area that you're going to work in, are these people that you can really consistently see yourself around? I don't know. And that's how I felt. That studio where I got all that feedback at the time, I was like very receptive to it because it was the first time that I was getting the feedback. But after sitting on it for a few days, I was like, dang, she kind of ripped me to shreds. And I took it well in the moment, but when I was telling my friends and like having to repeat what happened, I was like, dang, maybe that was kind of harsh. And when I was thinking about it, I was like, is that even a studio I want to work at? No. I went because it was all women and women owned, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. But the same way that they say not all skin folk are kinfolk, I would say not all vaginas are friends. I don't even know how you would phrase that. The point is not all Mrs. are sisters. There's not really a good way to say it. I guess I'm trying to say just because we're all women doesn't mean we all get along. And I would love for it to be that way, that I could feel like that sense of sisterhood and friendship just because we're all women. But that's not really the vibe that I was getting there. And if the women that do work there have that with each other, that's fantastic. I just wasn't feeling like I would personally fit in outside of like aesthetic looks. Like we look and dress similar in the sense that we dress kind of alternative and have our hair dyed or cut or have piercings or have tattoos. Like, sure, we look like we could be friends, but how I was being spoken to is not how I would want a friend to speak to me. And while I appreciate the feedback and I still am using it to improve my portfolio, I don't think it's a shop that I want to work in. And she asked me to bring my stuff back once I improved my portfolio. And I've been sitting on it for a few weeks now. And my first initial reaction was like, I need to rush and hurry up and finish this so I can bring it back to her. But I'm like, bring it back to her for her to approve my portfolio, for me to not want to work there. Like, what happens when she's like, all right, you improved your portfolio, it looks great, do you want to work here? Oh, thanks for the feedback and all of your free time, but no. So I'm not going to waste her time. I'm still going to take her feedback. I greatly appreciate it, and I made that well known while I was there, but I don't know if I'll be returning. I honestly want to find someone who's also more in my wheelhouse. I would say that her tattoo style isn't necessarily what I'm trying to go for. And I guess that's another thing to keep in mind is like, don't just go applying to any shop. You should definitely look for people who you feel like you could get along with, but you should also look at their tattoo style and be like, is this the type of work that I want to do? Because ultimately, that's the person that you're learning from. If you want to be well versed in French cuisine, you're not going to go work at a Mexican restaurant. I'm not saying you won't gain cooking skills, you will, but you will gain cooking skills in that area. And while some of those skills may be transferable, you would still ultimately have to either teach yourself the rest or get another mentor to learn the rest. So, I don't know. I'm excited for the interview with the tattoo shop that I have on Monday. She's black. She's a life coach. She also got rejected many times as a black woman. I remember her talking about it on her Instagram. And it took a while for her to find an apprenticeship. And there's just a lot of stuff that I think is really interesting about her and her art style and other people in her tattoo shop. So, and they're all black women as well. And so I'm excited about that. Obviously, just because we're all black women doesn't necessarily mean we'll get along. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm excited because based on what I'm seeing, I feel like I'll at least get along with them better than the previous shop. So pray for me, and I guess I'm gonna get started with my day. To crochet or to draw? That is the question. Fully let go of and fully allow myself to heal from so that I can actually let those things go. So really, I've just been shedding a lot of dead weight. Like, this eclipse season has really been a huge purging experience for me. Like, I've been purging in so many ways, and I feel lighter every single day because of that. And really, I was just like focused on showing up for myself off camera because I feel like I was getting into the habit of kind of like doing my practices and like showing up for myself because I knew I wanted to upload that week and I wanted to show you guys what I was up to, and I didn't want like my practice to just become like a thing that I do on camera. Like, I want.
Talk to me about.
Well, I work at Vogue magazine, and my boss.
Baby, introduce yourself. We want everyone to meet you.
Okay. Hi.
I mean, I did yoga this morning for the first time in a while, so I was really happy. I finally did that and got it off my to-do list. And I mean, I've been feeling so sore lately, so it was honestly very needed. You know, every time you plug it into the car, it does that. Maybe if you plugged it into the charger instead?
But that's what I did.
No, like, you know what I mean? How you have the orange one and the black one?
I don't know what it is. I don't think it's pretty. I need a new one.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say maybe the orange one will work. Show them my bag.
Ooh. Are you putting a button on that one?
Yeah. I made a little buttonhole. Wherever it is. Right here. And then I got these big black buttons.
Oh.
Alright, the last package got here. And it's the stencil gel, whatever you want to call it. Stencil primer is what it says on the bottle. I got the cheapest one that was on there. It was also because it was recommended in a video that I had watched of another tattooer, but also because I didn't want to get like the name brand stencil stuff to do like, what's it called? Crappy practice tattoos. Getting in my beauty guru era. Yeah, this was only $9.99, and the regular stencil stuff that's in like the same size bottle is $13.99. And I was like, for practice, I don't need to buy everything. I put like everything in my cart that I would need to like start tattooing, and it was like $500. So I got the bare minimum of stuff I needed, and that was still $60. So I think I'm just going to slowly procure items rather than buy them all at once, because I'm not at the stage where I'm tattooing professionally or very well. So anyway, back to crocheting. I'm making this arm strap. Why couldn't I think of the word for my bag? I don't know. It was gonna be a strawberry, then it got all lumpy. It's giving raspberry now, but also if it was raspberry, I would have done like magenta instead of red. So it can be whatever fruit or vegetable the person buying it thinks. So Anywho, I'm going to keep on crocheting, and I might try to play with this a bit later, might try to play with these a bit later. If I get to that, I'll let y'all know. Otherwise, I probably just won't end up doing it until tomorrow, and then you all will see it tomorrow. So bye for now. Right, I finished this bag. This raspberry boysenberry something 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 sewed on the button. Made this little hole right here. My stitches. This is how big the bag is. And I think it came out super cute. Made it just big enough for a phone since that's what most people will be carrying. But there's still room for more stuff. I don't know, keys, lighter, whatever else you carry in a small bag. It's so funny because I've made one now to sell, one for my mom, and I haven't made one for myself. See, the problem is it's so cute, I want to keep it now. I don't know. She might be mine. I'm starting another one. I already took it out because I didn't like it. So I'm starting again. So this is almost like the fourth hat. I said hat, bag, because I started over that other bag too. Honestly, if you don't like something while you're crocheting it, just start it over. Because anytime I've tried to push through and finish it and hope it's going to look better in the end, I actually end up hating it and taking it out anyway and then being like, wow, I wasted hours on this for what? So yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a method. That's the other thing. Like, I kind of just try to create the shape that I like. So I'll probably never be one of those people who's able to make a pattern. Let me not say never, but I've never even tried to read a pattern. I just watch YouTube videos and kind of take it from there. I'm like, I think I can do that. And then, you know, just put it in slow motion and hope it turns out all right. But like, I kept getting wider. It was like a big circle, and I was like, how do I get it to go like this? How did I do this? Again, when you're freehanding things, you're not really sure how you did anything. So that's okay. I'll figure it out. Right now, it is starting to be more dome shaped because I'm going in. If you wanted to know how to decrease, only recently discovered, in, pull through, then go into the next hole, pull through again, so you didn't finish the other loop, and then pull through all of them. And see, it starts to get shorter as opposed to this where it's like flat. This is just ones, this is decreases. So I just gotta know when to decrease and when to increase, pretty much. This is what it's looking like right now. Still not large enough to hold a phone. And it's definitely not the same width. I don't know what I did differently. Like I said, guys, I don't know how to follow a pattern anyway. So I don't know, this bag's just gonna be a little smaller. So the stencil worked really, really well. But I have to wait for it to dry. I'm gonna wait 24 hours so it has time to dry on the fake skin, and then I'll try tomorrow. This is where this bag is right now. I took it out again and tried to fix it again, so this is gonna be the final round.
Body, you ain't second to me. The body